Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is your host, Overmind, and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. Today we're going to be taking a look at a ZvZ from the Platinum League. So let's go ahead and hop right on in and introduce our players, spawning down on the bottom left side of our map. In red, we have our first Zerg player. It is DCrush. And spawning up at the top right side of Deadwing Ladder Edition, in blue we have our other Zerg player, representing Clan All In. It is Zloth. Zloth's going to elect to throw down his spawning pool right away here. And it looks like we're going to have DCrush taking his natural expansion with a hatchery before his pool. Zloth's also looking like he's going to move out and take his natural expansion. Now, just because this spawning pool went down first does not necessarily make it an aggressive spawning pool. The key thing that happens a lot with ZvZ, especially in the early game, is one player will get a bit of tech up, or a bit of an upgrade, and then just sort of win in the early game. So having your spawning pool up is a good way to keep on track with your tech, as well as to sort of hold off some early attacks or pushes. However, this is a larger map, and it looks like DCrush is going to opt to go ahead and go the macro route of hatch before pool. He is going to go ahead and start researching that metabolic boost, though, pretty well right away, which could be sort of a bad thing for Zloth, since of course he does not have that researching, and this is a very key upgrade and something that can be a big problem later in the game. Looks like we do have two scouting Zerglings. A pair for each player. Looks like they're going to head back across the map towards Zloth's base. These are largely scouting Zerglings, not necessarily aggressive Zerglings, and are just going to be taking a look around. We can see that we have a decent amount of Overlord spread across the map, which is good because in ZvZ there isn't a whole lot of anti-air early in the game, and this is going to give both players a nice way to see what's going on. Over here it looks like we're throwing down a baneling nest again. This is one of those key tech pieces that can be an incredible advantage early in the game, so Zloth might actually be in some trouble here. These Zerglings from DCrush going to get a good look around Zloth's base, going to see all that is going on, and then this spine crawler kills them off right away. This baneling nest just about done. This Overlord looks like it's going to suicide himself right on in here for Zloth. However, he is going to be invaluable in that he's going to spot that baneling nest. He's also going to see that there are Zerglings with speed, and more importantly that there are Zerglings with speed heading out across the map towards his base. So we're going to see what his response is to that right about now. Looks like he's going to go ahead and attack these rocks over here with his two existing Zerglings. There we are, there we have it. Alright, double Evo chambers going down at the front of his base here, which of course will wall off a decent amount of this. Looks like we're going to complete our wall off with a queen and a roach warrant, which will be Zloth's tech of choice. Now Zloth is supply blocked, so he can't really make units in response to this just yet. He's going to go ahead and kill off DCrush's Overlord here though, which will make the difference and prevent DCrush from making additional units. Looks like we have Zerglings trying to make something happen here at the front. There are banelings morphing in behind them though, just over here. Here they are finishing on up. So the banelings of course are going to be far more dangerous to this wall off and to these queens. Of course, with the queens stacked like this, and with that spine crawler there, the Zerglings are not able to break this too easily. However, we'll see what the banelings wind up doing as far as damage. Here we have upgrades starting for Zloth. As long as he has the Evo chambers, he wants to extend the use of them. And there we have some excellent transfuses on that front queen. Oh, but here we have more Zerglings and banelings coming on in. Both buildings going down at the same time. I believe the queens are going to fall at this point, because of course these nice speed Zerglings can come in and get this around. We have Zerglings in the middle line, which is not where we want them. They're heading on into the main. No, they're turning around to kill off these drones, which is not necessarily a bad idea. Looks like they're also going to kill off the only roach that Zloth was able to make at this time. Zloth responding very nicely, building 12 Zerglings, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and have his drones join the fight here since he doesn't really have too many units. There we are, those drones looking quite victorious as they head back to their duties. Zerglings popping out for Zloth. Of course, these are slowlings, and slowlings versus fastlings is not necessarily ideal. Another queen kill here. And of course these speedlings trying to get that nice surround, trying to use their speed to their advantage. Zloth fighting in small spaces, keep that from happening too much. And it looks like those banelings not doing nearly as much damage as you would hope. And this might well be a spine crawler death here. And in fact, it might be another queen death, which is quite bad for Zloth, because that is the unit that does provide those nice larva injects, which means that he can make fewer things out of his 2 hatcheries than DCrush can make out of his. That one heroic spine crawler does in fact die. Looks like we do have zerglings popping on out though to fend off this single speed zergling. Should be fine. We have this roach warren being rebuilt in the back here for Zloth, so he should be able to go ahead and make roaches, which should be quite helpful because roaches are much more durable than, say, these slow zerglings that he has on the field right now. Looks like he's going to go ahead and build another spine crawler. However, there are more speedlings, and this is why playing versus Zerg in the early game is considered so difficult, because there can be so many units so quickly, and they can be so mobile. Pretty good positioning there from the slowlings by Zloth. Here we have the banelings coming on in, doing a decent amount of damage to the roaches, but not actually killing them, because roaches are, again, quite sturdy units. This is getting cleaned up, but then there are more zerglings. But wait, there's more! It's like the worst infomercial ever. All of a sudden there are a bunch of things in your face to kill off your queen again. Ugh. I actually want to look. The spine crawler with 20 kills before it is killed off. That is a very worthwhile spine crawler. These roaches finally swelling in numbers, able to clean this up, and in fact it looks like there's going to be a decent amount of them remaining. These zerglings are going to head on up over here to this potential 3rd base for Zloth. I suppose it is also potentially a 4th base, depending on which direction he wants to expand, since there are these nice rocks here. Perhaps he's thinking of destroying the destructible debris and heading into the base, but right now the front is open, so that isn't, strictly speaking, necessary. Zloth has sort of created this little chokehold with his roaches. They are a human, or rather roach, deterrent from things running up his ramp. Looks like he's going to move on around. Possibly he's thinking to engage with those zerglings directly. Here we have the zerglings running in. The zerglings running right past the army, back up into the main. Oh my goodness, this is not good. And I believe we're going to see another queen kill here. Again, very vital to have those queens alive for the larva injects. And there we've lost another one. Looks like they are trying to kill off the roach warren. However, they do not succeed. The roach number is swelling again for Zloth. He is going to go ahead and produce another queen, at least for this hatchery down here. I want to go ahead and look at the Resources Lost tab. This is a tab in which we actually see DCrush ahead in the Resources Lost. Remember, he has been losing gas for all of those banelings, which is not necessarily something that puts him ahead. Here we have the units coming across the map for Zloth. He's going to try and recover and also bring the pain to DCrush. DCrush looks like he's going to go ahead and burrow in, if you will. Several spine crawlers being put down here at the front. We do have a roach warren up here. And it looks like we have upgrades coming on up for DCrush as well. Zloth focusing on producing drones and focusing on this attack. Very good transfuse on that front spine crawler. One spine crawler does finally fall. The queens in this game have been really excellent at getting those transfuses off on those front buildings. However, I think this is going to break. And I believe Zloth might have this. We do see some target firing going on. We do see some positional stuff going on. But I'm going to go ahead and switch to the units tab. It is 11 to 5. And I believe Zloth has successfully broken into this base. There are additional roaches being produced by DCrush, though, so he should be able to repel this without too much damage, I should think. And here we have additional roaches coming back to supplement on this defense for DCrush. Meanwhile, Zloth producing additional roaches. However, remember, his roaches do have to waddle their way all the way across the map, and roaches are not the fastest unit ever. So you can see them struggling on their little roach legs to get across to the fighting as quickly as possible. DCrush pushing out with roaches, possibly wants to pull back, and it looks like he does. Heading back across the map. across this little candle area that I like so much. And it looks like we're going to see a burrow upgrade coming down for DCrush, which again is a very, very key upgrade. Very helpful if you have roaches, because burrowed roaches do heal, which is quite good. There's some discussion about lag, but now is not the time. Now is the time for fighting. And I believe Zloth might well have a better concave here. And in fact, some roaches moving around to the side, not necessarily a good thing, since there are a few free shots going off, and since the roach numbers are again rising for Zloth. Looks like he's really trying to kick down that Evo chamber. Very close to getting it too. Whew. Whew. Evo chamber lives for now. Additional roaches heading out across the map. Looks like Zloth is going to fall back to this nice Xel'Naga watchtower. Neither player at this point has a third base, which is sort of late in the game for there to not be a third base, but given how much aggression both players have been putting into this, it's understandable that they don't have one yet. In the structures tab, we can see that it's pretty well tied. We have lair for both, we have another hatch for both, we have roach warren for both, we have Evo chambers, 3 for both. The one baneling nest here for DCrush is in fact an additional structure, but he's going to lose utility in this structure because banelings will become less and less effective in a roach versus roach war. And it looks like these roaches deciding to lie in wait. No, deciding to move out in wait. They are in fact hidden as they move across the map because they are burrowed and therefore invisible. Looks like they are heading towards Zloth's army. And in the units tab, we see 25 to 24 roaches, so this could well be bad. A few roaches not burrowed. The rest of the roaches popping on up. This is such a tense moment. We have a small group of roaches that are flanking for actually both players. Both players now meeting in the middle with their roaches. Looks like Zloth sort of pulling it together, however there is this group of burrowed roaches that is just following him. Looks like he does now have the overseer. DCrush needing to run. And we do have DCrush expanding right here. This could well be a good spot for Zloth to hit to deny that expansion. Zloth actually taking his own third, having knocked down those rocks. Back at home. Here we have another tense moment at the front of one of our players' bases. And I think Zloth might actually be able to break in here, however there are additional roaches on the way. Looks like drones are going to be pulled, and drones versus roaches is actually not a super good fight to be in. However, there are some roaches in the back trying to go ahead and follow up on this. And there we have it, many roaches killed off. Many drones killed off in that last final push for defense. And then we have Zloth winning. Excellent, excellent game. Thank you to Zloth for submitting it, and congratulations to Zloth. He's someone who's been in the Gold League for a while and has kicked my butt pretty consistently, so we are all very happy to see him promoted to the Platinum League. Congratulations. To everyone else out there, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cast. If you have a game that you'd like to see me cast for you, go ahead and send it to NoobCrafted@gmail.com. That's NoobCrafted@gmail.com. And you can see that up on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you on the ladder.